Hey, how's it going, friends? Thank you once again for tuning in. It is a pleasure uh, to be here once again, having this virtual discussion with you, of course. Not necessarily a discussion since I am the only one talking, but no, yes, it could be a discussion if you would leave comments down below in the video letting me know your thoughts and your opinions, and also give the video a like if you would, and subscribe for future content. So, guess who's in the news again? The world's richest man, Elon Musk. Of course, now it looks like he's gotten into a sort of a fight on Twitter, or a fight of words with Tim Cook from Apple. So it looks like he's having a little bit of a back and forth here with Apple. It was reported that Apple was looking to possibly stop having Twitter uh, as an application on its products, such as the iPhone or iMac or iPad or anything Apple. It was reported that they were looking to stop doing business with them, and Elon Musk sort of hit back at Apple, saying that it's unfair the way they conduct their business, how they try and charge 30% of the revenue for for just letting any application be on its platform. And so now we have more detailed information uh, in this article we're going to be looking at here. Um, and, this is pretty interesting because I would say Apple is the bigger company if we're just comparing Twitter with Apple. Uh, but again, Twitter has become such a popular platform that if you were to put, and again, I'm an Android user. I just like the phones better. I've been using them for a while. I don't really like Apple, but if you showed somebody, if you put an Android phone here and then you put an iPhone here, and you're using either or, let's say you're the Apple person, if you want to check Twitter and you don't have Twitter on your iPhone, you're gonna want to pick up the Android phone just to see what's going on Twitter. And you have all these discussions about how, or comparisons, about Twitter and how it's like a public space, right? Where people have these public conversations. It's like a virtual public space where you have all these ideas and all these back and forths between people and their different ideologies or philosophies, because that's what separates us from uh, the other species of animals. So the fact that we have the ability to think and to rationale, uh, if that's the word, um, and express your ideas, and try to convince other people to see that what you're saying is possibly the correct way of doing things. Um, and Twitter is that platform, and apparently it was the reason that Elon Musk even bought out the company, is because he thought that we weren't having enough of that we were having too many restrictions, especially by one uh, side, with its ideology being the reason why they were suppressing the other points of view. And so he kind of made himself like this champion of freedom of speech, and gave that as the reason of wanting to buy the platform and manage it. And of course, we have seen all these accounts being unbanned, such as Donald Trump and all these other uh, public figures that had their accounts banned because of their point of views. Um, whether this is a good thing or not, or what I think about it, that's another topic of discussion. I do believe that, uh, the idea is noble of freedom of speech, that people should have the right to say what they want. Um, but, a better discussion is what is freedom and to what degree do people consider it to be acceptable. But that's a whole nother philosophical discussion. But essentially, what Elon Musk did was what he said he was going to do, that he was going to allow more points of view, and of course, he did unban those people. After that, the application hasn't changed much. There's been some small changes with like the verification system, and it looks like Elon Musk was looking to implement a sort of system in rankings of checks. I think it was going to be like gold, blue, and gray. And gold was going to be for like companies. Um, Blue was going to be for like celebrities or public figures or something like that. And then gray for like people that bought the service or something like that. But it looks like with this back and forth that he's now been having with Apple, he is holding back on that so that Apple can't make money off of the application for this income, this revenue that Twitter would be getting from, the subscription that you would have to pay for either one of those check marks and whatnot. So yeah, essentially, whatever money that Twitter is making, Apple is going to get about 30% of that because they're allowing it on its platform, and that's how it is with all the applications there. And uh, so now you have what looks like Apple trying to like hint at uh, they're not agreeing with Elon's takeover of Twitter and whatnot, and sort of hinting at them displatforming his, the Twitter application. But then people are saying, whoa, hold back. This could be a blowback. This could actually affect Apple even more because a lot of iPhone users would then go and buy an Android so that they could have Twitter, since it is the most widely used application, I would say, for political debates of and seeing the uh, points of view of all these public figures like politicians and all these things. What is trending in the world right now? What is the latest news? That is exactly what Twitter has become. And so imagine having an iPhone where you don't have Twitter, where you have to, if you were using Twitter a lot, you would just have to spend your time on like Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. You don't have that instant, news update of what people are saying right now all over the world. So I think this could definitely affect, Twitter, Apple big time. Um, I think the backlash they got from this, or the response, was not what they were looking for. So I don't think they will take Twitter off of the platform. But it's interesting because then Elon Musk was, or people were saying that he could just make his own phone, and that way he wouldn't have to worry about these companies not wanting to do business with Twitter. Because of the way he's managing the company now. So I think that it's pretty hypocritical of Apple because they're kind of like mad that Elon Musk took over Twitter, right? Because it did tend to lean a little bit to the left, with most of the people that were being banned being right leaning political figures. Um, and so now that Elon Musk is sort of in the middle or a little bit to the right, these companies like Apple are kind of expressing their displeasure with that. But, a bigger evil is like China, according to the US government. And you don't see Apple stopping their business with China. right? I mean, China, what China's doing, according to the Western propaganda, is a lot worse than Elon Musk letting people back on the platform on Twitter. And of course, Apple, their iPhones are made in China. The phone you have in your hand, if it's an iPhone, was probably made in China. Um, they make a lot of money, but they wouldn't dare stop doing business with China. But they'll try to come out and try to be heroic in some sort of way because they're taking a stance against Elon. And so it's very hypocritical. I think that it backfired on Apple, um, and I think it's opening up, Pandora's box as to what could happen with everything that Elon Musk is doing. He's making big moves in society as a whole with SpaceX, and then spending billions of dollars to take over these the social media platform, and then the importance that wields in the political sphere, and all these other things that these events uh, have implications in. It's pretty interesting, and so let's read a little bit about that in this article here, talking about the subscription system that Elon is now withholding because of all this. It says Twitter's revamped Blue subscription might not be available as an in-app purchase on iOS when it eventually relaunches, so that it can dodge Apple's 30% cut of App Store purchases, according to Platformer. When the new Blue was briefly available earlier this month, you could only purchase it through Twitter's iOS app. But while Elon is publicly tweeting his displeasure with Apple, it appears he wants to avoid having to pay Apple's fees. Musk had said the new Blue, which allows people to purchase a Blue verification checkmark, was set to relaunch on Tuesday after signups were paused following a wave of impersonators. But that launch has been delayed. Platformer says, and The Verge has also heard of the delay from a person with direct knowledge of the matter. Twitter employees have been told that there will be other changes to Blue, including a 1 cent price increase from $7.99 to $8, and requiring phone number verification, Platformer reports. Over the course of this month, Musk has ramped up his tweets targeting Apple. On November 18th, he criticized the App Store's cut by calling it a hidden 30% tax on the internet. And on Monday, he claimed that Apple reportedly, one of Twitter's biggest advertisers, has mostly stopped advertising on the social network, and that it has threatened to withhold Twitter from its App Store, but won't tell us why. So again, this is where all the ideology comes into play, right? What these executives, these people in power at Apple believe, and what how displeased they are with Elon, or what Twitter may represent, or what Elon represents, and so they just don't want to do business with them. And it looks like Elon got wind of that, and he's sort of been taking stabs at them now. And, he wants an answer as to why Apple has stopped investing money into Twitter to have advertisements, when he took over, and also why apparently Apple threatened to withhold Twitter from being on its devices. And so this is you could definitely see the political undertones already in this story here. Apple hasn't publicly acknowledged Musk's tweets, but outsiders have speculated that actions like his mass layoffs that slash teams responsible for content moderation, whereas the decisions to bring back suspended accounts and former President Donald Trump could put Twitter at odds with Apple Store policies. So it's Donald Trump that's going to break up the Twitter and Apple relationship, huh? But yeah, I think we'll see. We'll see if Apple sticks to its guns. I would probably say no, since they still continue to do business with China. But of course, you never know. Maybe being on Twitter isn't as, obviously it's not as profitable as the business they do with China, so it wouldn't be as big of a consequence for them, and it would kind of make them look good before whatever philosophy or ideology they are trying to pander to. Um, but again, I do think that if they're thinking money wise, this would definitely not be good. Uh, I think their stock price would drop if Twitter wasn't on the platform. Um, I think that a lot of Apple users, iPhone users that are heavily into Twitter would switch over to an Android phone because of that. And it would also be a big hit to Twitter, and it would also be like a bigger political statement, right? As we see these wars between these corporations, as the political philosophies get inserted into them and into their leaders, this kind of civil economic war, kind of, right, industrial war that's taking place in the United States. Um, uh, it's pretty interesting. We'll see what happens here. I I don't think Apple will take Twitter off, but you never know. They've already threatened to, so will they show fear, kind of, and go back on their statements, or will they actually go through and deplatform Twitter? Uh, and what will Elon's response be? Will he make a new phone, or will he just stick to working with Android phones even more? Um, as a direct competitor to Apple. We'll have to see here. Pretty interesting stuff here. Pretty interesting. Anyways, that'll be all for this video, guys. Thank you for tuning in to VR Revelations. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and God bless.